What is up, Janksters? It's your boy Graham, also known as HamHawks42 on the internet, and today we are looking at a really fun deck that is Explorer legal, and it is built around Titan's Nest. Now, Ikoria had a lot of crazy stuff going on. We had cycling, we had mutate, we had this, that, and the other. We had Flash, like Dimir Flash was a theme in there for some reason. Anyway, fun stuff, very cool. However, it also had a whole cycle of 3-color do-nothing enchantments that were meh. And they never really saw much play outside of jank lords like myself trying to make them work. And Titan's Nest is the Sultai one. Titan's Nest is an enchantment for 4, 1 black, green, blue that says at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may put that card into your graveyard. All right, and then exile a card from your graveyard, add 1 generic mana to your mana pool. Spend this mana only to cast a spell that's 1 or more colors without X in its mana cost. So what it allows us to do is if we have stuff in our graveyard, we can cast really big, powerful spells that aren't Eldrazi or Hydras, you know, is effectively what it kind of what it boils down to. Which is pretty sweet. Like Titan's Nest, it has some limitations, but at the end of the day, it can be very, very powerful. Now, some of the big spells that we might want to lean into are things like the Ultimatums. However, this mana is generic, so it cannot be used to play the colored spell, you know, the colored mana costs of the Ultimatums. However, there is a pretty sweet card that is legal in Explorer and historic for that matter. Rise of the Dark Realms. This was introduced to Arena through Jumpstart Historic Horizons, if I'm not mistaken, which was some time ago now, and it's just casually being, you know, just chilling and being Explorer legal. This is best known as a commander card, but it can be very effective if you have a lot of stuff in your graveyard. Rise of the Dark Realms for 7 black. It says put all creature cards from all graveyards onto the battlefield under your control. Everything in a graveyard just comes right back to you. Boom, you got it. Now, what are we pulling back is really the question. Like, what are we trying to animate with Rise of the Dark Realms? The answer is very simple. Clackbridge Troll and Massacre Wurm. If you are not familiar with the Clackbridge Massacre combo, you are missing out. It is awesome. And I have to give a huge shout out to Mono Black Magic, a fellow YouTuber who is just absolutely phenomenal. He's the ultimate jank lord on this platform. He introduced that combo to me as well as, you know, thousands of other Magic players some time ago now. But in any event, it's absolutely fantastic. What happens is, Clackbridge Troll enters the battlefield, your opponent gets 3 goats. Massacre Wurm immediately kills those goats and domes your opponent for 2 damage for every goat killed. Not to mention every other creature that dies in the process. Also, Massacre Wurm has a sweet animation, so that's always nice. So the goal is to hit multiple Massacre Wurms and multiple Clackbridge Trolls with 1 Rise of the Dark Realms. They all hit, you get a huge, you know, a huge wall of triggers on your opponent, and they lose 2 life for every single one of them. That's the idea, that's the goal, that's how this fires. But we need to fill our graveyard first. That's important to do. But you can see how it works. We get those into the graveyard. We use Titan's Nest to pay as little as 2 for Rise of the Dark Realm. They hit the field, boom, we're off to the races. So we have a couple things that we can use to fill our graveyard. We have Otherworldly Gaze, very useful, very effective, and it's also very flexible. An instant for 1 that can mill 3 cards potentially. And if we don't want those cards to be milled, we can choose to draw them later. Not bad, it's just a very good spell, and we can flash it back for 2. So if we mill this into our graveyard, we can then cast it, which is always nice. Just a good spell. It's very flexible, it gives us what we need. We also have Stitcher Supplier. If you just need to mill, if you got to mill, Stitcher Supplier is one of the best ways to do it. Just costs 1, mills for 3, then when it dies, it mills for 3 again. Awesome. It does exactly what we need. And then we have Fae of Wishes. We'll get back to that. We also have Mire Triton, mills 2, gains 2 life, and provides a Death Touch blocker, so it helps you survive early against aggro while filling your graveyard up. You'll love to see it. Undead Butler mills us 3 cards, and when it dies, we can exile it from our graveyard to fetch another creature from our graveyard. One of those creatures that we can fetch up, say, a Fae of Wishes. And Fae of Wishes has the ability to go into our sideboard for 4 mana and fetch out a non-creature spell that we have from outside the game, put it into our hand. Now, you'll notice we have a Titan's Nest in our sideboard. We also have Rise of the Dark Realms in our sideboard. So if we are not hitting either of our combo pieces, we can pull them out of the sideboard. Very, very useful. In the sideboard also, we have Thought Distortion. If we're going up against control and we really just want to shut them down, this card is brutal. It can't be countered. Target opponent reveals their hand, exile all non-creature, non-land cards from that player's hand, and graveyard. It is just a gigantic way to say no to a deck that primarily says no. Feels really good when it hits. I've gotten like a 9-for-1 off this once. It felt so good. Anyway, we also have Ritualist Soot. If we're dealing with aggro, if we're dealing with a lot of aggro early, this is a great way to deal with it. We also have Bantu's Last Reckoning. If we have a situation where our opponent has gone too big, you know, where the creatures are too big for Ritual of Soot to kill them, Bantu's is kind of a last-ditch effort to just end what they're doing. Just shut it down very fast, very early. We also have Fatal Push. If we've got one issue that we need to grab, and we also have Tormod's Crypt. Now, because of Rise of the Dark Realms, we generally don't want to be monkeying with our opponent's graveyard too much, but the threat of just exiling our opponent's graveyard is very useful against other Reanimator decks or Greasefang decks. So we can let their graveyard just kind of stew, let it do its thing, with the Tormod's Crypt just chilling on the battlefield. The moment they try to take advantage of it, we blow it up. If they don't try to take advantage of it, we hit Rise of the Dark Realms, steal all their stuff. So that's the idea, that's the hope. Now we have a couple other cards in the main, and they are to help us get advantage out of our graveyard when we've milled a bunch of stuff we want. First up, we have Ramunap Excavator. It's a cool creature. Also, the fact that it's a creature means that we can fetch it up with Undead Butler if it dies. Pretty nice. And it allows us to play lands from a graveyard. Given how aggressively we're milling, and we also have Fabled Passage in here, given how aggressively we're milling and the fact that we have fetch lands, we're going to be pulling, you know, like, we're going to be milling lands. We just will. It's guaranteed. And a lot of those lands are going to be exiled to Titan's Nest later to help pay for our Rise or for our Massacre Wurms and Clackbridge Trolls, which is fine. But in the meantime, Ramunap Excavator can help turn those into land drops for us. So no matter whatever we're drawing, if we have land in our graveyard, Ramunap Excavator can make sure we hit our land drops. It's just good stuff. And then we also have Dryad Survival. If we end up milling a Rise of the Dark Realms or a Titan's Nest, we can use Dryad Survival to pull it back. So that's pretty handy, pretty good stuff. So that's the Titan's Nest deck. It actually went through a couple of different iterations, and this was actually one I was challenged to build on stream, and I'm actually pretty proud of how the final iteration turned out. So that's the deck. That's what we're doing. I also want to give a huge shout out to my patrons. I want to say thank you to everybody who has signed up on Patreon. If that is of interest to you, please don't hesitate to take a look. For as little as $1 a month, you can actually help the stream out dramatically. And yeah, I also want to give a huge shout out to my $10 patrons. This Dream Dragon Ari, and Silent Labber. Thank you so much for all that you do in helping support the stream. And if you would like your name to be included there, you know, or in the end credits of this video, please check out Patreon. It would mean a lot to the channel. And if you don't want to actually provide financial support, which is totally fine, pressing the subscribe button actually makes a huge difference as well. I'm in the process of trying to get this channel monetized. In order to do that, I need to hit 1,000 subscribers. So it would be massively helpful if you want to press that button and help me reach that goal. It would actually, you know, the sooner we get there, the sooner I'll be able to do more of these videos and more stuff like this. So it would mean a lot. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. With that, with all the shilling out of the way, all the plugging out of the way, let's get into the gameplay itself, and I want to show you what this deck can do, because it's freaking sweet. All right, let's go. All right, this hand looks fine. I'm really depending on Otherworldly Gaze to give us something that we need here, but I think we keep this. We'll see. I may regret this decision, but we will see. Wow, all right. You know what? Fabled Passage is actually a pretty good hit for us, so let's hit that. I'm gonna go grab a Swamp. All right, double Fabled is a little not ideal, but that's okay. All right, we got the Fae of Wishes. Cool. You know what? I'm actually going to hit Fabled again, and I'm going to go grab a Forest this time. That way we can hit the Ramunap Excavator on 3. All right. Holy crap. All right, another Fabled Passage. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Okay. Ramunap, I choose you. There was no delay, which is very meaningful because our opponent's on Azorius. So they can't counter a creature spell. That said, they may be able to kill it. Very real possibility. Very real possibility, which would be mildly problematic, except for the mildly part. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, they could have a Fateful Absence. They could have a Fading Hope, something along those lines. But in the meantime, whoosh, more Fables out of the graveyard. We're already down to 2 basics. Already down to 2 basics. Yuck. All right, let's get an attack in. It connects. You'll love to see it. Play out the Mire Triton, get our mill started. Triome and a nest. Dang it! I'm bummed that we hit the Titan's Nest there, but that's okay. We'll be all right. We do have a Dryad Survival in hand, so worst case scenario, we pull it back with that. Shadow the Sky, eh? All right, fair enough. Fair enough. And we don't have anything big enough to result in us drawing a card, which is truly unfortunate. I actually like both these little guys. I kind of want all of this. You know what? We can let the breeding pool go, though. We can definitely let the breeding pool go. I'm gonna let the butler go, too. So we're gonna draw the supplier, which is good. We hit the Fabled Passage first, because we're already running low on basics. If we mill a basic, we're gonna be kind of bummed, because that the Fable would be more or less dead in our hand there. So let's hit a Stitch Supplier. Let's get our mill on. Hit the mill train. Ooh, got another Massacre Wurm in the yard, and I think we Dryad's Revival that Titan's Nest. Boom. Don't mind if I do. Let's go. All right, so now we have the Titan's Nest. Titan's Nest feels great, and the Fae of Wishes can go get us the Rise of the Dark Realm out of our sideboard. And if we draw into a land, we can also just stick a Massacre Wurm just to give them a huge threat to deal with, which is nice. I like giving my opponent huge threats to deal with that are my plan Bs. I love it when my plan B becomes a huge threat that they need to dance around. Makes you feel just great. Try home. Do we stick the nest here? If we stick the nest, we don't have access to anything else. We can also throw the Fae of Wishes. Well, they're tapped out right now, so if they have a counter spell, we just need to get a Rise in our hand. I thought Distortion would be pretty sweet too. Be my sack outlet, opponent. Do it. Do it. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I could not have telegraphed more that I wanted them to do that. I mean, obviously you heard me say, do it, do it. They didn't, of course, hear that, but yeah. Sure. Yeah, Teferi Hero of Dominaria is pretty gross, not gonna lie. That is a significant problem for us. Musho problematic. I'm gonna shock that in case of Jawari disruption, and we are just gonna try to stick a Massacre Wurm here. It will allow them to draw 2 cards. There was no delay. You'll love to see that. We're gonna dome them for 4. Unfortunately, they get 2 cards. But tis what 'tis. There's a delay there, though, interestingly enough. All right. Oh, because they had an opt in hand. That makes sense. Okay. Groovy cool. Well, we got a worm on the field. They got to do something about that.
I will defend my allies.
One of them put. Enjoy your planes. Have fun. All right. So we need to stick a Titan's Nest here. What do we have in the bin? We have 1 Clackbridge Troll and another Massacre Wurm. That's actually really good. I want more though. I'm getting greedy. I'm getting stupid greedy. Destroy target permanent? That's fine. I'm totally cool with that thing dying. Believe it or not, don't care. Dream Trawler. Dream Trawler. All right. Chance of them having a counterspell to deal with my Rise is actually pretty low here. See any delays? Any delays? There was a delay. I'm gonna take the shot though. We're going for it. Otherworldly Gaze. What are you? Give me something. Give me something in the yard. None of those are particularly valuable, but I can use them to feed my Rise. And we're going to be primarily exiling land here. We have to be very careful about what we exile. Also, we still have 28 cards in the library, so I'm not going to worry too much. Actually, you know what? I will get rid of one Citrus Supplier. One of the things that this deck can do is mill out pretty badly, actually. And so it's a good idea to exile some of your mill creatures with Rise of the Dark Realm. I mean, if they have a negate here or a Disdainful Stroke, we're in rough shape. If they don't, though, we're about to have some fun. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun. It's not gonna be amazing. It's not gonna end the game on the spot, but puts them in a bad spot. Enjoy your Billy Goats. They're all gonna die immediately. We dome you for a lot, which is nice. I like doming my opponent for a lot. It feels good. It feels good. You know what? Put Undead Butler because we can. Ha! All right, sick. We were going to be able to attack with the Clackbridge Troll. So actually, I believe that was lethal because Clackbridge Troll has haste. So yeah, we got it. We got it. I was durdling a little bit at the end there. I needed to just finish it. But yeah, there we go. Rise of the Dark Realm, Titan's Nest. We did the thing. Boom. Feels good. All right, let's move on to the next game. See if we can do that again. I see a Stitch Supplier, Mire Triton, Undead Butler, Otherworldly Gaze, 2 mana, and even a Ramunap Excavator. This looks priceless. This is exactly what we want to see. I'm going to start with the Supplier. I'm going to mill 3 green mana sources and be sad. 2, okay. We milled 2 green mana sources, and I'm sad. That's okay, though. It's okay. The worm. All right, it's kind of a bummer. Not what I wanted to see there. It's Buttle. I'm gonna put a stop on my upkeep. I'm putting a stop on my upkeep so we can flashback this Otherworldly Gaze first before. Actually, I'm gonna hit this one. I'm gonna hit this Otherworldly Gaze in our hand first. There we go. Before we draw. I really want to draw a green source. None of these are green sources, so all of them go to our graveyard. Be gone with thee. All right. Land? You're not a land. You're not what I ordered. Can't express enough how much you're not what I ordered. Good thing we have all these Otherworldly Gazes, though. We're gonna have an opportunity to just massage our hand. Goreclaw. Ooh. That's interesting. So, creature spells with power 4 or greater cost 2 less to cast, which is actually really neat. Fabled, that'll do, actually. I want to dump these 2. Doink, doink. We haven't milled our... We have 1 forest in the deck. We haven't milled it. Okay, good, good, good. To the main phase. The fabulous main phase. Yeah. There's the forest we were looking for. No attacks. So Goreclaw, also whenever Goreclaw Terror of Calcisma attacks, each creature you control with power 4 or greater gets +1/+1 and gains Trample until end of turn. So just a great card. Rekindling Phoenix, man, that thing's a pain in the butt. All right. Man, you ever try to kill this thing? Yeah, it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Killing that thing's almost impossible. Our opponent knows this, and they're going to take advantage of it. As they should, frankly. As they should. What critters do we have in the bin we can take advantage of? Ding, ding, ding. I'm going to just... I would like to get my mill on and prevent as much damage as possible, so that's nice. All right, so we are going to sack the Butler. Let's go grab up a Mire. Fae of Wishes. I just realized the Fae of Wishes is most assuredly the correct answer. And we just milled one of our rises, which is not ideal, but not the end of the world either. Fabled Passage. We can go grab a swamp. And do I need to talk like this? Absolutely not. It is 100% unnecessary. But at the same time, I'm awkward. All right. All right, we got 2 Death Touchers, and we're milling more and more worms, which makes me very happy. Very happy. You'll love to see it. Great Henge, holy crap. This is just Jund Value Town that our opponents wandered into here. Another Love Stroke Beast? Sure, why not? Why not? Gain a life, ramp you, draw cards. Like, what is there anything Great Henge doesn't do? Just attacking with the Phoenix. Oh, they are. Yeah, okay. All right, bring it in. Bring it in, homie. Let's go. Let's dance. Might as well attack with the 1/1. Why not? Now, killing the 1/1 would take the Lovestruck Beast offline, which is relevant. However, I definitely want to kill these big Chungai. I'm going to get them off the field post-haste. And we're taking an obscene amount of damage, which is a problem. I don't love taking obscene amounts of damage. Is there anything we can do here other than just roll over and die? I don't. Well, we got the trample out of there, so that's something. I want to stick this worm. That Massacre Wurm would be freaking dope, but that's not gonna happen, unfortunately. Do we have an untapped blue source that doesn't cost us life in our graveyard? No, we do not. Bummer, yo. Stick an excavator. I don't know what I was hoping to accomplish with that. Yeah, we're dead here. They got it. They just need to attack all. Man, we stuttered a little bit. We stumbled a little bit at the beginning. And that ended it for us. Yep, it's all good. Didn't get there in the end. Our opponent just popped off with some really good stuff. And like I said, we stuttered a little bit in the opening, and that's all it took. Because right now, Explorer is very fast. Like, that's something to be aware of. So, it's all good. This one wasn't our game. Let's move on to the next. See if that one will be. This hand could be a lot worse. I feel like it could be a lot better, but it could be a lot worse. So let's keep and see what happens. Hardcasting Clackbridge is not the end of the world. So that's fine. But Otherworldly Gaze is going to make sure we get our third land drop. In fact, I'm going to just take advantage of that right now. Let's just hit it. Nope. I'm gonna let those two go. I'm gonna grab the Rise for later, and I hope I don't regret that decision. I may regret that decision. Normally, what I would do on turn 2 is rip a Mire Triton if I have access to it. I think in this case, we need to flashback the Otherworldly Gaze to make sure we hit that third land drop. And that's exactly what we're gonna do. Let's go, especially because our opponent's not applying pressure right now. Fae is great, but we can pull Fae out of our yard later, but we need that forest for sure. Actually, the fact that it's a green source is pretty great. I'll take it. Lotus Field, okay. Cycling the Fierce on Tumbling Sands. Untap Lotus Field. That's actually a really slick move. I'm gonna give our opponent props for that. Let's try to play a Mire Triton, see what happens. It sticks. You love to see it. Million Otherworldly Gaze and a land that would have been nice, but we're putting a stop on our upkeep. We've done this once before today. We are hitting that Otherworldly Gaze pre-draw. And they're going to main phase Deluge. Well, they see we have untap. They see we're running blue, so they may be worried about counters. And that resolves. We can mill those two. The Fabled Passage can stay. It's also going to be untapped, which is nice. Right, main phase. So that's going to become a swamp, and we're going to drop a Mire Triton. Not bad, not bad. And that puts us in a position where we can hit Titan's Nest next turn, which feels pretty good. And we have 10 cards in the graveyard, which is not bad. It's not bad. But we have the Massacre Clackbridge Troll action teed up, which is nice. I like that. It's actively nice. That said, if we hit a land here, I might just try to rip Clackbridge Troll. Because that does put him on a nice little clock. And Hope Tender, what's your deal? Untap land, 2 turns. Interesting. Ah, another troll. Not ideal. Well, here comes the nest. Does it resolve? Yes, it does. You love to see it. Let's just crash in. It looks like they're doing combo shenanigans. I would be very surprised if they want to let this through. So, actually, the best thing our opponent could do right now is like hit us with a Mind Rot, not a go blank because we need the graveyard. Lotus Field again. Okay, more Lotus Field action. They're doing some tricky shenanigans with the with the yard, I noticed. Obviously, like, it's quite clear that's what's going on. They're gonna get a ton of mana here. They're gonna get an obscene amount of mana here. Question is, what do they do with it? And they're in Sultai colors too. Okay, interesting. Very interesting. But I'd say if they had a Rise of the Dark Realm, I'm gonna be so upset. Wow, they're going for even more mana. Good lord, I like what they're doing. This is sick. So non-basket, respect. Good work. Hope Tender. I'm gonna need Emergent Ultimatum, of course. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. But now what do they go grab is the question. Because there are a lot of 3-card combinations. Omniscience has got to be one of them, right? Like, I'll be shocked if we don't see Omniscience here. Lily, Vorn collects Omniscience. We've all seen that 2 to 8 dozen times. We can't give them Omniscience, but Vorn collects and Lily, if they set it up correctly, they just blow us out. Yep, and they resolved it correctly. They've clearly done this before. But yeah, they downtick Lily. Choose an artifact, creature, an enchantment, or a planeswalker, and a land. Yep, well. That and that, I guess. Keeping Titan's Nest is a big deal. That's a very big deal, actually. If we top deck into a black mana source, we could actually hit the Rise here and we have a chance. Believe it or not, like, this looks like we're completely and totally, and they're running Fae. Good lord. Like, this looks like we're 100% boned and completely out of this. And it's not good. Don't get me wrong. We're not in a great position, but it's not as over as you might think. They're gonna tell Orin, smack us for 6 here. So we need an untap black source off the top. You're not an untapped black source, get in my yard. I said untapped! Untapped! Damn it! Alright. And they have Hullbreaker Horde just because they do. Alright. They're tapped out right here, though, which is good.
Rise and shine.
You know what? Get in the yard. What are we gonna draw? Let me take a quick look. We just left some basics in the deck, so actually Fabled's not bad. Alright. They're tapped out here. This might be our only shot. So I'm gonna take it. Let's go! Fabled, out of here. Triome, out of here. We have 33 cards left in the deck. I'm not worried about milling out. Get all these basics out of here. I really wish these trolls were in our graveyard. That would be so much better. All right, here we go. Fortunately, they have a bunch of other critters just lying around. There's only one troll, one worm. It's not what we want at all. And they draw a bunch of cards. Ugh! We got their Viziers, though. That's nice. They could sack the Arboreal Grazer here. It would give us a fresh card. They also draw a fresh card. Ha! Actually, this is lethal. They either take it, they take the Mire Triton, or they block with one of their creatures. The creature dies, Massacre Wurm triggers. Yes! Woo! That was really loud. I'm sorry. That was just the greatest game. Oh my goodness. Yes, that was exactly the note we needed to end on. Our opponent hit us with an emergent ultimatum into a Liliana Dreadhorde General Ultimate, and we actually came back to win it off the back of a freaking Mire Triton. What? I'm in awe of that game. That was fantastic. And I think that is the note we are going to be ending on today, everybody. So thank you so much for checking out this video. If you enjoyed that and want to see more stuff like this, please hit that subscribe button. I'm going to double check. Yes, we're recording. Good, good, good. Please hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world. And in the meantime, thank you. Be good to each other. Have a good one. I'm still actually shaking a little bit from that last game. That was so much fun. But thank you very much to all my patrons. If you would like to donate to this channel, it actually makes a huge difference. For as little as $1 a month, patreon.com/hamhocks42. Please consider it. I'd appreciate it very, very much. If you don't have the means to financially support, that's perfectly fine. If you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, though, that's the way you can help the channel, and it costs you absolutely nothing. So I would appreciate it very, very much. But I want to give a huge special thank you and a huge special shout out to my $10 patrons, and that is Dream Dragon Ari and Silent Labber. Y'all are amazing. You're helping keep the lights on. Thank you so much for doing what you do. And I will catch all of you on the next one. And hopefully we can have some more action like that last game. Man, that was fun. Anyway, catch you later.